Good day. This is Amy. Today, taking an in-depth look at one of the most talked about figures in the investment world, Cathie Wood, the founder, CEO, and Chief Investment Officer of ARK Invest. In an era defined by unprecedented technological advancement, Wood has carved out a reputation as a fervent believer in disruptive innovation, making bold, often audacious bets on companies she believes are poised to fundamentally change our world. Her high-conviction approach has led to periods of spectacular gains, but also sharp downturns, making her a subject of both admiration and intense scrutiny. Over the course of this report, we'll explore Cathie Wood's core investing philosophy, her unwavering focus on the technologies of tomorrow, and dissect some of her most significant holdings and pronouncements, particularly concerning artificial intelligence, Tesla, Bitcoin, and the recent strategic shifts involving Palantir. Cathie Wood launched ARK Invest in 2014, born from a belief that traditional investment analysis was failing to adequately identify and value companies at the forefront of groundbreaking change. ARK's entire investment framework is built around identifying these disruptive innovators. Their research is concentrated on 5 key innovation platforms they see as critical: artificial intelligence, DNA sequencing, robotics, energy storage, and blockchain technology. Wood and her team believe that these platforms are not only transformative in their own right, but are also converging, creating exponential growth opportunities and reshaping entire industries. Her investment style is characterized by a distinctly long-term outlook, typically targeting a 5 to 10-year horizon. This often means embracing significant volatility, a stance that sets her apart from many conventional asset managers. Transparency is also a cornerstone of ARK's operations. They regularly publish their research, share their investment models openly, and Cathie Wood herself is a highly visible figure, frequently engaging with the public and defending her, at times, very ambitious price targets. Let's begin with a technology that Cathie Wood sees as perhaps the most transformative of all: artificial intelligence. She recently made a powerful statement declaring that AI will, quote, disrupt the traditional world order. This isn't merely about incremental improvements. Wood envisions AI overhauling how we access and process information, and consequently, how major global businesses operate. One of the most significant targets for this AI-driven disruption, in Wood's view, is the traditional search engine model, epitomized by Google. She predicts that the familiar act of typing queries into a search bar will become a relic of the past. Instead, she foresees a future where every individual is equipped with a personalized AI assistant. These intelligent assistants, powered by increasingly sophisticated large language models, will proactively find, synthesize, and deliver information effectively, as she describes it, doing much of the walking for us. Wood notes that this isn't just a far-off prediction. She points to commentary from other tech industry leaders, including an Apple executive who recently echoed similar sentiments about AI's potential to supersede traditional search functionalities. Furthermore, Wood asserts that this transition is already in motion, with advanced language models beginning to capture market share from established players like Google. This perspective has profound implications for tech giants such as Alphabet, Google's parent company, and it heavily influences ARK's investment strategy, guiding them towards companies they believe are either leading AI development or are best positioned to harness its transformative capabilities. This deep-seated belief in AI's pervasive power is also a critical component of another of Cathie Wood's highest conviction investments, Tesla. It's almost impossible to discuss ARK Invest without highlighting their long-standing, vocal support for Elon Musk's electric vehicle and clean energy company. Despite periods of intense market skepticism and significant stock price fluctuations, Wood's bullish stance on Tesla has remained remarkably consistent. She recently reaffirmed this conviction, reiterating ARK's ambitious 5-year price target for Tesla, aiming for $2,600 per share. This figure isn't arbitrary. It's derived from ARK's detailed financial models, which primarily factor in Tesla's continued dominance in the electric vehicle sector, and crucially, its vast potential to deploy a large-scale autonomous ride-hailing network. ARK's thesis is that if Tesla successfully commercializes true full self-driving technology, it will unlock immense new revenue streams, fundamentally transforming the company into a global leader in mobility as a service. But Wood's vision for Tesla's future doesn't stop there. She has emphasized that this $2,600 price target does not incorporate potential revenues from Tesla's humanoid robot project, known as Optimus. Wood has publicly stated that she views the market for humanoid robots as a potential $26 trillion opportunity. While Optimus is still in its early developmental stages, she sees it as another avenue for Tesla to leverage its significant expertise in artificial intelligence, advanced battery technology, and cutting-edge manufacturing to disrupt yet another massive global industry. For Cathie Wood and ARK Invest, Tesla is far more than just an automotive manufacturer. They see it as an integrated AI company, a robotics company, and a key player in sustainable energy solutions. This holistic, multifaceted view is fundamental to their exceptionally bullish outlook on the company's long-term prospects. From the tangible innovations in electric vehicles and robotics, Cathie Wood's forward-looking vision extends just as boldly into the realm of digital assets, with a particular emphasis on Bitcoin. ARK Invest holds some of the most aggressive and widely discussed price targets for Bitcoin within the mainstream financial community. Wood recently reaffirmed ARK's base case scenario for Bitcoin, projecting a price of $750,000 per coin by the year 2030. Their even more optimistic bull case anticipates Bitcoin reaching an astounding $1.5 million within the same time frame. While the information I have notes Bitcoin trading around $103,000 after surpassing the $100,000 mark. And we know cryptocurrency markets are characterized by extreme volatility and have experienced various price points since any specific past mention. Wood's long-term thesis remains resolute, irrespective of short-term market movements. "We still have miles to go," she has stated, underscoring her profound belief in Bitcoin's substantial remaining growth potential. What underpins such an audacious forecast? ARK Invest cites several key drivers. Firstly, Bitcoin's inherently limited supply, capped at 21 million coins, positions it as a potential store of value, often drawing comparisons to digital gold, especially in an inflationary environment. Secondly, they point to its increasing adoption and diverse use cases in emerging markets, where it can serve as a hedge against local currency devaluation and facilitate cross-border transactions. And thirdly, a critical factor is the growing interest and participation from institutional investors. The approval and launch of spot Bitcoin ETFs in the United States, for instance, is widely regarded by proponents like Wood as a landmark development, significantly enhancing accessibility and legitimacy for a broader range of large-scale investors. However, Cathie Wood's strategy isn't one of blind optimism across all her holdings. She and her team at ARK Invest are also pragmatic, actively managing their portfolios and making adjustments based on their assessment of the evolving technological and macroeconomic landscape. A recent example of this can be seen in their handling of Palantir Technologies. While Palantir, known for its data analytics software used by government and commercial clients, remains ARK's fifth largest holding, making up a significant 6.62% of their portfolio with a value around $324.4 million, according to recent data. ARK Invest has been strategically reducing its position. They reportedly sold nearly $80 million worth of Palantir shares in a single recent week. In a recent interview, Wood acknowledged that Palantir's government business continues to be strong and that its commercial business is on fire. However, she also voiced a note of caution, highlighting potential headwinds from Europe. Specifically, she warned that if the European Union makes significant moves to develop its own AI capabilities or impose stricter regulations, it could pose a threat to Palantir's remarkable growth trajectory in that region. This trimming of their Palantir position, even while maintaining a substantial stake, demonstrates an active approach to risk management and a willingness to adapt their portfolio based on perceived changes in the competitive or regulatory environment. So, what does this all mean for investors and the broader market? Cathie Wood's investment philosophy is undeniably high risk, high reward. Her focus on early-stage disruptive technologies means that ARK's funds can experience significant volatility, periods of rapid ascent often followed by sharp corrections. This is an inherent characteristic of investing in innovation, where future outcomes are uncertain and market sentiment can shift dramatically. Wood herself has always been transparent about this. ARK Invest is not for the faint of heart. It's for those who share a similar long-term conviction in the transformative power of the technologies they target. Her unwavering commitment to her core theses, even in the face of market headwinds or widespread criticism, has made her a defining figure in modern finance. Whether her boldest predictions come to full fruition remains to be seen, but there's no denying that Cathie Wood has profoundly influenced the conversation around innovation investing and has challenged many traditional notions of value and growth in the 21st century economy. Her journey continues to be one of the most closely watched narratives on Wall Street. Thank you for joining me for this in-depth look at Cathie Wood and ARK Invest.